And that's it, folks. Super Bowl 60-61 is over. Blowout, pretty much. We pretty much called it. A lot of people thought the game was boring. I loved it. I'm gonna be honest with you, but we're gonna get into it. Brandon, how you doing today, though, man?
I was gonna say you up there with some of the Dolphins fans, Jets fans, and Bills fans. It's the happiest people in the world today, ain't you?
Hell yeah. It was like a it was like a dream watching that
Yeah.
game. I ain't gonna lie to you. That's
Second
some
straight
work.
Super Bowl went in the favor that I wanted. So yeah, I'm on board with you too.
Yeah. Let's get to this opening drive though, shall we? The Cowboys will play the league's first ever game in Rio de Janeiro in Brazil. Jets are hiring Seth Ryan as their passing game coordinator. Seth is the son of former head coach Rex Ryan, who also coached for the Jets. ESPN reports the Falcons will cut Kirk Cousins before the new league year. Reports say the Cardinals are looking to trade quarterback Kyler Murray, while the Dolphins would pay most of Tua Tagovailoa's contract to help facilitate a trade for him. The Raiders have named Clint Kubiak as their next head coach. Adam Gase is joining the Chargers offensive staff. 49ers defensive lineman Keon White was shot early Monday morning in San Francisco. He's expected to be okay. And Falcons rookie linebacker James Pierce was arrested Saturday on battery charges related to a domestic incident involving WNBA star Rakia Jackson.
And a couple quick points on this opening drive. It seems like the Chargers are trying to put all their pieces on this offense. You know, they got Mike McDaniel, former Dolphins head coach, as their offense coordinator, bring in Adam Gase. Funny, they both were former Dolphins head coaches. And of course, Gase spent time with the New York Jets as well. And then, of course, they still have the head coach, Jim Harbaugh. So we'll see how their offseason continues to flow as well as the draft as well there. And then this whole Kyler Murray Tua Tagovailoa, of course, the writing was on the wall with them last year. Both of them basically got benched. But I think the Tua situation kind of stands out to me a little bit more. I remember when they came back from like 21, 28 points down against us a couple years ago in Baltimore, and Tua had what I want to say 6 touchdowns, something like that, 300
Mm,
some, 400 some yards passing, and they interviewed him and Tyreek Hill after the game, and at that time Tua hadn't been extended. His contract, he was still playing on his rookie contract, and Tyreek was like, "Back up the Brinks truck for him, pay this man this and that," and I'm thinking, okay, yeah, he's accurate. He's playing good right now. He coming off a great game, but y'all gonna regret that. And sure enough, Dolphins fans are regretting that right now. So we'll see how it goes for them. Of course, the Kirk Cousins news doesn't surprise anyone as well. I know the memes on social media is like his agent is the smartest agent in the history of agents. Like Kirk
man.
Cousins that made some money with these NFL teams. So we'll see who he robbed next. Um, and yeah, Clint Kubiak going to the Raiders, man, easy money. As I said before, you want an easy job in the coach in the coaching field in the National Football League. Go coach for the Las Vegas Raiders or any city that they play in. It don't matter. They don't discriminate. They gonna keep you for a year or two, and they gonna get rid of your ass. And guess what? You get paid for the remaining of your contract. Easy money. But yeah, let's get to this Super Bowl recap show, everyone. The Seahawks are celebrating their second Super Bowl win in franchise history. The latest came Sunday night when they destroyed the Patriots 29-13. Ed.
Yeah, man. Like I said, a lot of people found this game boring. Not a lot of offense going on. I love the game. I thoroughly enjoy it just because we see the Patriots get whooped. And I said it, for me, it goes back a long ways. I talked about a bunch of times on this show how, I remember the Patriots putting a beating on us back in Joe Gibbs' tenure, second go around. I think the score was about 52-3. And I never forgave them for that. And then some of these Super Bowls they won, I was just like, oh my God. So in the preview show, I was like, Lord, please don't let the Patriots win. Prayers are answered pretty much for that. Seahawks thoroughly dominated. Long, long day for Will Campbell. Long day for most of the offensive line of the Patriots. Seahawks, was getting after Drake May a lot. Affected his play because he played a terrible game. Even when he did have time to throw, It could be the shoulder. They did say he had an injection in the shoulder before the game. Could have been something to do with that, but he was not accurate with the ball. Like I said, times where he did have time to throw the ball, the ball would get like it would skip down the field before it reaches his receiver. Just wasn't a good overall game for him. Early on, it looked like they were going to be able to establish a run. The Patriots did with Ramondre Stevenson, but Seahawks pretty much shut that down. I think they only had a total about 79 yards rushing in the game. And like the Seahawks on the defense, man, just did whatever they needed to do. It wasn't until late in the game, fourth quarter, where the Patriots finally made some plays. And I'm wondering if that shoulder really did have a effect on Drake May. I'm sure it did. He probably won't just talk much about it because he didn't really throw the ball. I think there was one play he had in the first half where he tried to get Matt Collins on the right side of the field, try to reach him for a long game. That didn't connect, but he did have that touchdown with him in the fourth quarter. And then he was finally able to, get a little bit loose, scrambled a little bit, did something. But at that point, it was too much too late. And then late in the game, they had that a strip interception, basically. I think it was Devin Witherspoon who forced the ball out, and Nuoso picked it off and ran it back for a touchdown. That pretty much was a ball game right there. But salute to Kenneth Walker, man. Salute to A.J. Barnard, the tight end for the Seahawks. He had a couple of really timely catches. Some on second down, some on third down to keep the drive alive. And then Sam Darnold, I don't think he played his best game, but he did what they need. He didn't turn the ball over. He moved the ball downfield when they needed it. He made plays when they needed to. And he just threw the ball away. He lived to fight another down. He didn't force a lot of things. If it wasn't there, he threw it away. And that's all you need to do when you got a defense like that other side doing whatever they needed to do. Also, shout out to special teams, the kicker and a punter, Jason Myers, Dixon. Both of those guys performed very well for the Seahawks, man. And they just pretty much dominated the game. It was close at first. I mean, the Patriots defense, they weren't really allowing the Seahawks to do too much. I mean, they could drive down the field for a little bit, and then they would it was like a bend don't break kind of in a sense where they either get a field goal or they would stop them. So Christian Gonzalez, he definitely did his thing. He had some plays out there, had a very good pass breakup on Rashid Shaheed, where Sam Darnold tried to catch him on a deep post, but that didn't work. And then he broke up the pass right before halftime. If he would have put the ball right on the money, that would have been a touchdown, I think, for JSN. But Christian Gonzalez made a diving breakup. He could have picked it off, but he wasn't able to hold on to it. I could tell he was like holding his head after that play. He was like, man, I should have picked that off. But it just wasn't that day for the Patriots, man. And the Seahawks got it done. They were blitzing a little bit more than I expected. I thought they would just try to go with 4, but you see Devin Witherspoon getting off the line. You see a bunch of other Nick Emuwari, he get off the line, getting after the quarterback. And, they were just disrupting whatever Drake May had to do. 6 sacks on him. Was able to make him fumble 2, had 1 fumble, 2 interceptions. And a 1 interception was I was like, what the hell was he throwing to? I texted you. Chris Collinsworth was speechless. He's like, yeah, I don't got anything for that one. I don't know what the hell he didn't say. I don't know what the hell he was thinking. But I don't know what was going on with that one. I gotta give a quick salute to Chris Collinsworth. Me and you been getting on him throughout the season, rightfully so. But he wasn't too bad in my opinion this game. He did mention one Kansas City Chief, but it wasn't Patrick Mahomes. He mentioned Travis Kelce for one play, saying that was a Travis Kelce type play. But I don't think he mentioned Patrick Mahomes' name. And I thought he was okay for most of the night. He wasn't like a clown in my opinion, like he usually is his usual self in my opinion. So I gotta give a shout out to Chris Collinsworth, man. That's probably like a damn streaking star. I won't be seeing much of that shooting star. You won't be hearing me say much more about him in the polite and good way. But yeah, shout out to Chris Collinsworth on his analysis of the game, his commentary. But yeah, man. Seahawks, they got it done. We'll see how they do next year. I mean, they got Sam Darnold. I think he's like the 17th highest paid quarterback contract. So they got a few free agents. I know Tariq Woolen, he's an unrestricted free agent, if I'm not mistaken. They got a few other guys, so we'll see how it goes. Also, shout out to Leonard Williams and DeMarcus Lawrence. Both those guys been in the league for a while. I know DeMarcus Lawrence, he about 10 plus years in the league. He was finally able to win one after being with the Cowboys for so many years. Oh Lord. And he was able to get it done. So salute to both of those guys for finally getting a ring. And yeah, man, this is one of those games where you talk about defense wins championships. Yes, it's good to have a really good high-powered offense, but if a defense can shut down the other team, it makes it very easy for the rest of the team to do what they need to do. And yeah, man, Mike McDonald, you saw after the final score, after the clock ticked to 0, you saw him just taking it all in, looking at the confetti falling down, things like that. And the Seahawks were able to get it done. So shout out to the Seahawks. We'll see y'all next year. Brandon, your thoughts?
Mike Vrabel, overrated. And he's a little douchebag too. I ain't even gonna say what I want to say because the way he ran up to Mike McDonald after that game, barely shook his hand and turned back around and got up out of there. Damn near ran over the cameraman or whoever was behind him. Yeah, you little punk, man. You'll never be Bill Belichick. Listen, I loved Mike Vrabel as a player, but I cannot stand him as a coach. And that go back to the time when he was with Tennessee as well. Drake May, overrated. You'll never be Tom Brady, man. They wanted they wanted both of those gentlemen to be the two that won 6 Super Bowls there, but they could not, man. The old regime, they lost Super Bowls as well. We know it. They lost 3, but the difference is they were never blown out. Okay. They were, down 28-3 against the Falcons at one point, but they came back and won that one. They made halftime adjustments in that, during those dynasties, and they made in-game moves as well to at least keep those games close. The games they lost to the Giants as well and the Philadelphia Eagles, all 3 of those losses were close games. And of course, again, most cases they ended up winning. But to this game, man, I love defense as well. And this was a defensive game for sure, man. Probably one of the best defensive performances that I've seen since last year. I know it's short, but Philadelphia dominated the Kansas City Chiefs definitely during the first half of that game, honestly, into the fourth quarter. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers, they dominated Kansas City a couple years ago as well. That was one of the other top defensive games. And then the Ravens back in 2000 when we held the New York Giants to no offensive touchdowns. But to this game, man, damn near every time that New England would get something going, man, Seattle would make a defensive play. You talk about the first drive of the game, they're getting into rhythm. Will Campbell gives up a sack, stalls a drive. That was the drive where it looked like they was going to go down and score a touchdown. They were slowly getting things going there after Seattle put the first points on the board in their opening drive. Into the third quarter, 3rd and 6, sack fumble, okay? Fourth quarter, 2 drives ended in an interception, okay? I think Will Campbell and Jared Wilson, the 2 rookies on the left side of the offensive line, they need to go to Gillette Stadium later this week. They need to hold a fan forum or something and shake every fan's hand and apologize for the performance on Sunday night in this game because they were just god awful, as you would say, god awful. I mean, every time you look, somebody was coming up on that left side of the Patriots offensive line. They were bull rushing, getting home with 4 guys, something that I mentioned several times this season when we talked about the Seahawks, how good their defensive was because they're able to get home without blitzing. And it showed again on Sunday night, man. Will Campbell surrendered 14 pressures, and I think they said it was 19 all night, man. Drake May sacked 6 times. I think technically it was a 7th, but they took it back for the interception, one of those fourth quarter interceptions. Either way you add it up, the offensive line has been an issue all year. It honestly was an issue last year as well. So we got to see how they're going to address that one moving forward in the offseason. Christian Gonzalez, as you mentioned, Mac Hollins, they seem like the only 2 guys that really showed up for New England, in my opinion. NBC, man, shout out to the camera people, shout out to the producers, the directors, whoever, for keep showing Mike Vrabel's face on the sideline. My only complaint is that they didn't show, and I texted you about this, they didn't show Josh McDaniels because he was just as responsible for this as he was as anyone else on the sideline, including Mike Vrabel, man. Mike Vrabel has that stare like John Harbaugh does whenever shit going wrong. A turnover, a negative play, a late game where they're just getting blown out. Like he has that same exact stare. So yeah, shout out to NBC for that. But Last point on the Patriots, the last major point, man. I'm glad that we did not have to listen to Robert Kraft after a potential Super Bowl win because he says the same thing after each Super Bowl win. And this is unequivocally the best Super Bowl win. I thought last time was good, but this was unequivocally, he says unequivocally a lot. This is unequivocally the best Super Bowl win. So thank you, Jesus, for not having to deal with that, man. To the Seattle side of things, man. Credit Sam Darnold. Again, didn't have the best game. You mentioned it, but he did not turn over the ball. He did not turn over the ball at all during this postseason. So you got to give him credit on that. Certainly helped. Certainly almost helped the New England defense. A couple times those passes could have been picked off, mainly by Christian Gonzalez. I think Jones made a play or two.
Yeah,
Defensive
first
back
drive
number
of the game.
25. What do you say?
Yeah, the first drive of the game. Yep.
Yep, yep. So he came close, but what matters is what's in the box score right now. No turnovers, and again, no turnovers throughout their Super Bowl run. Man, Kenneth Walker the third running hard all night. It was clear to see that he was going to be the MVP early on. And all those guys on the defensive side of the ball deserve a game ball for sure, man. Even Chris Collinsworth was talking about at one point how this dominant and how great this Seattle pass rush was, man. I think it was in the fourth quarter. They got to Drake May at one point, and he was like, man, and this is just with a four-man rush. And that's exactly, again, what I've been saying all season long. And they, Mina Kimes is a big Seattle Seahawks fan. She's the ESPN commentator. And she was like, today, it's kind of fitting that her team, the Seahawks, won on the same way that they've been winning all season long. Even when you think back to the Indianapolis Colts game, when Phillip Rivers came back, I think Sam Darnold, it was either that game or a game in that stretch, but he threw 4 interceptions in one game. But the defense held their own in that one, and that's how they won. And they, that defense has been doing their thing all season long. But I'll end it with this, man. Shout out to Maria Taylor and Mike McDonald. Of course, Mike McDonald, he started his career in the National Football League with my Baltimore Ravens. He was a defensive assistant. Of course, he was defensive coordinator, I believe, 2 or 3 years there. He did sometimes used to grind my gears when he used to draw up them safety blitzes or defensive back blitzes against some of the best receivers in the NFL, and we get burned. But other than that, he was a fantastic defensive coordinator. I know a lot of Ravens fans are like, that's supposed to be our coach. That's supposed to be our coach. He's gone. He's not coming back to Baltimore anytime soon. He's staying out there. They're going to make sure that he stays out there. So y'all need to get over it and deal with what we got now. But he and Maria Taylor, man, they went to high school together. I don't know if you saw this story, man, in Georgia. And then she also was the first Black woman to host the post-game ceremony in in Super Bowl history, and the first one since I believe 1992. So shout out to those two. Again, the NBC Maria Taylor and Super Bowl winning head coach now Mike McDonald.
Yeah,
All right.
definitely. Shout out to Sam Darnold. I mean, this pretty much changes the narrative on his career. Darnold was 15, traded around a bunch. Labeled as a bust with the
Yeah.
Jets. Terrible. Stayed there, but was able to turn it around and get a Super Bowl with the Seahawks, and now it's only up from here. So we'll see how it goes for him. And yeah, man. This is another thing. The Seahawks, I feel like they learned a lesson. Even though this is a totally different team and regime from the last team, I feel like there was no, we need to make the quarterback the MVP. They did what they needed to do to win the game. They didn't try to go for it on fourth down or third down or anything like that. When they take the points, take what's given to you, and then defense punch him in the mouth every time again. So yeah, man, salute to the Seahawks on that.
For sure. All right, everyone. This episode is brought to you by Premium, a CBD health and wellness company. Check out their line of CBD infused products, which are a perfect after workout refuel for athletes, pain reliever for weekend warriors, and even a natural sports drink for us armchair quarterbacks. Their featured product is CBD infused honey, which is a personal favorite of mine, as well as tinctures and mint and natural flavors. They are veteran, women, and minority owned, so come get some of this sweet temptation and taste the premium difference. Use code B&E for 15% off your order. Their website is www.premium.com. And now back to our show. Man, we know Kenneth Walker III walked home with Super Bowl MVP, was the first running back to win that title since Terrell Davis, the great Terrell Davis, Hall of Famer back in 1998 with the Denver Broncos. But we're going to give out some player awards tonight. Um, let's start with the offensive side of the ball, and I'm pretty sure we're in agreement. Ed, I'll let you go first, though.
Yeah, you better have Kenneth Walker. I mean,
Yeah.
he pretty much from the start of the game running the ball and catching the ball. He had a couple of nice catches as well. He had caught a screen pass. It looked like one of the defensive linemen for the Patriots was going to take him down, grabbed his arm, grabbed him by his hand, but Kenneth Walker was able to shake away and dart up the field for more yards. But yeah, Kenneth Walker definitely set the tone from beginning to end, man, and ran away with that MVP award. So he's definitely my offensive player for me.
For sure. I'm just going to give him a touchdown, even though he got called back. He should have had that
Yeah.
final touchdown there at the end, but it was a holding play. That's the only thing I'll add to it. Kenneth Walker III, congratulations, young man. And I believe he's a free agent as well. That's the bad thing about these Super Bowl teams. They end up losing usually a coach or two and then players. But yeah, we'll see how they retool this offseason. Defender of the weekend.
Man, you could give it to a whole bunch of people. I mean, Ernest Jones, Nwosu, but I'm gonna give it to the cornerback, Devon Witherspoon. I don't know if it's Devin or Devon, but one sack. He could have had two sacks, but that other play he made that was led to the interception with Nwosu where he knocked the ball. He pretty much hit Drake May, and the ball like squirted out, and Nwosu was right there to pick the ball off, running back for a touchdown.
Yep.
Yeah, 4 tackles, 2 pass deflected as well. He's pretty much all over the field, man. Probably their best, in my opinion, their best defensive back out there. Also, Devon Witherspoon is my defensive player of the week.
I got Derek Hall, the linebacker, number 58. He had a sack fumble at the end of the third quarter. That was the first turnover of the game. Finished the night with 2 sacks, 2 tackles for a loss, 2 tackles. But as you mentioned, you have a viable case for anybody on that Seattle defense. Great game for them. Let's switch gears to special teams. Special teams play of the week.
Yeah, I'm gonna show some love to the punter. I've showed some love to the punters in the past, but I got to give it to their punter, Michael Dixon. 7 punts, 3 inside the 20, 55 of his long. But yeah, he did his job, man. Controlled the field, flipped the field when they needed to. Just made sure, there wasn't a punt where the defender or the punt returner had a chance to make something happen. Usually, he punted the ball and had enough air under it where the defenders or the coverage team was able to get down there and tackle him before he got too far. And then, like I said, 3 inside the 20. A couple of those were like inside the 10. I think one of them was like right inside the 5 as well. So he's my special teamer of the week, Michael Dixon, the punter. How about you?
I actually thought you was going to go with the kicker, so I'm going to switch mine to Jason Myers, but you can go either way, man. 5
Yeah,
for
you
5,
can.
which set a Super Bowl record for field goals made, which is kind of surprising for the great ones that have came through there over the years. Of course, Justin Tucker, Adam Vinatieri just got in the Hall of Fame, so now Jason Myers is up there with great Super Bowl performances. And again, that punter, man, he was definitely my first choice for sure, and he was definitely setting up his defense for success with the way he was able to get pin those guys back inside their own red area, basically.
Yeah.
Bonehead player call of the weekend.
I almost had one for the Super Bowl, but this has nothing to do with the Super Bowl. You mentioned it in the opening. Well, I did in the opening drive. Falcons rookie linebacker James Pierce Jr. And that domestic violence situation. I mean, if you read into that story, he was dating this young lady, Rakia Jackson, WNBA stars we talked about, and like she tried to cut things off, and this dude just basically loses his damn mind. She like drives to the police station because she notices him following her. He tries to freaking crash into her while she's at the police station, and this is the whole thing. It's on video of him getting arrested by the police. He also hits an officer, hits him in the knee when he was running away or something with his car. So he's out on bond right now, but I'll be very surprised to see how his NFL career ends up now after crashing out like that, man. Bonehead, that could be Bonehead move of the year. That's definitely a candidate for me. But yeah, man, James Pierce is my bonehead move of the week so far. What about you, Brandon?
And you got a new regime down there in Atlanta too, so you got to imagine that they're going to try to come in. Not that the NFL is probably going to suspend him one way or another, but even
Oh
if
yeah,
they don't, even if for some ungodly reason they don't, they're going to come in. You got Matt Ryan down there, basically, president of football operations. They got a new general manager came over, I believe, from I want to say he's from Green Bay, but could be from mistaken. But yeah, they're gonna try to set the tone with him and probably say, okay, we ain't gonna put up with this.
yeah.
One y'all guys better not. But yeah, my bonehead move of the week is Josh McDaniels. These Patriot offensive line coaches, man, they could not find any type of help for their left side of the offensive line, and then I just can't single out the left side because there was times when guys were blitzing straight up the middle on the right side as well. So they get
Mm-hmm.
one side tied down for a play or two, and then it was coming from the other side, man. Um, just a tough night offensively for the Patriots, man. And I talked about how the old Patriots regime, they used to make those halftime adjustments, they used to make those in-game adjustments, but I didn't mention the fact that Josh McDaniels was a part of those coaching staffs for a lot of those Super Bowls as well. So yeah, he again, those cameras should have been on him, man, because they could not figure out this Seattle pass rush at all. Nothing was working besides maybe the first scoring drive when they was able to get downfield real quick and score. But yeah, Josh McDaniels and the Patriots offensive line coach, as well as the 5 men up front for sure, and even Drake May for not possibly not figuring out these protections pre-snap because that's on the quarterback now too. They put even more on the quarterbacks in this game. It's not just the center calling out um, those pre-snap reads anymore for their the camaraderie up front. But yeah, tough night for the Patriots, but to our liking for sure.
No, definitely. I loved it.
All right, everyone. Just like that, the 2025 NFL season is in the books. What a great season it was. We saw a lot more defensive dominance this year than in years past. So much stuff, man, we witnessed this past season, man. Please take a moment to like, comment, subscribe to our YouTube channel. Just search for the B&E Podcast. Follow us on X, formerly known as Twitter at Podcast B&E, and on IG at B&E Podcast. We'll be back a few times throughout the off season, talk about free agency, the draft, and then of course the schedule, which is my favorite part. Throughout the off season, see when we're going to play, where we're going to play, what time, all that kind of stuff. So that'll be fun to look forward to. I believe that'll come out in late April, early May. But yeah, can't wait to see y'all again. Until next time, love one another.
Peace.